Hey guys, and welcome back to our GCSE Maths Grade 9 exam question. And here today in this question, we're dealing with surds. So we've got to show that 6 minus root 8 divided by root 2 minus 1 can be written in this form here. So a plus b root 2, where a and b are just integers. So remember, an integer is just a whole number, that's all that means. And this was a 3-mark question, and this is tricky if you've never seen rationalising in this form here, so where you've got the square root and an integer given. So the way we start a question like this, where we have to rationalise, and the first thing you have to recognise is that we are actually rationalising surds here. So the first step we have to do is we multiply through by the conjugate. So the denominator here is root 2 minus 1. So the conjugate is just the opposite sign here. So instead of it being root 2 minus 1, it's going to be root 2 plus 1. And the reason we do this, we don't just do it for the sake of it, the reason we do it is because it eliminates the surds in the denominator. And remember, that's the whole point of rationalising. We don't want surds in the denominator. So let's have a go doing that. So we're going to do 6 minus root 8 times root 2 plus 1. So times root 2 plus 1. Root 2 plus 1. And then we've got to do the same with the denominator as well. So we're going to do root 2 minus 1 times root 2 plus 1. So root 2 minus 1 times root 2 plus 1. So now at this place here, what we've got to do is a lot of simplifying. So it's multiplication of surds. So let's start with the numerator. So if we're doing FOIL, so first we do the first two terms, so 6 times root 2, that's going to give us 6 lots of root 2. So we'll do the outside, so 6 times 1, hopefully that's nice and easy, that's going to give me plus 6. We're going to do next the inside, so minus root 8 times root 2. So that's going to give me minus root 16, but remember root 16 is just 4, so we can write that as minus 4. So that would be minus root 16, but because root 16 is 4, we can just skip that step and put it as minus 4. And then finally, the last two, so minus root 8 times 1 gives me minus root 8. Like so. So that's that bit done there on the numerator. So let's have a go at tackling the denominator. So again, using FOIL, we're going to do the first two, so root 2 times root 2. Well, remember, if you do any square root of the same two numbers, so square root of a times the square root of a, that's just going to be a. So because this is square root of 2 times the square root of 2, that just gives us 2. Then you do root 2 times 1, so that'd be root 2, and then we do minus 1 times root, so that'd be minus root 2. So they just cancel. This is actually the difference of two squares here. And then recognise the last bit, so the last two that we need to do is minus 1 times 1, so that's going to give us minus 1 as well. So our denominator is 2 minus 1. So the middle two terms cancel. You get root 2 times 1, so that's root 2, minus 1 times root 2, that's minus root 2, so they just cancel, they'd be 0. So we need it in the form a plus b root 2. Now here, we've got the denominator 1, so that's fine. That's just going to give us this line here. But we need to express this numerator in that style. So what have we got now? So we've got 6 root 2 plus 2, so 6 minus 4 is 2, minus root 8. Now we're not quite in this form. We've got a root 2 here and an integer. We have an integer on its own, but we've got this root 8. So can we get root 8 into the form of something root 2? Well, think about how we split the surds up and simplify them. So if we write this as 6 root 2 again, plus 2. So remember, we can, I guess the word is decompose the surd into two other surds by multiplication. So this would be the same as minus root 4 times root 2. So remember, when you multiply surds like that, so root 4 times root 2 would give me root 8. But remember, root 4, that's just the same as 2. So this is 6 root 2. That's a really bad 6 actually. 6 root 2 plus 2 minus 2 root 2. And then when we simplify that, so if you've got 6 lots of root 2 and you take another 2 lots of root 2 off, what have we got? So that gives us 4 root 2 plus 2. And then if we express that in the form they want, so a plus b root 2, that's going to be 2 plus 4 root 2. So then clearly a is 2 and b is 4. And there we have it, guys. So we've rationalised that expression to get it in this form here. That's required. And there we have it. That's all 3 marks.